Welcome to Dirty Casual, a Heroes of the Storm podcast for the rest of us, part of the Frozen Fox Radio Network. I'm your host, Argyle.
Bearcat.
And Big Oakley.
And welcome to a very special-list episode of Dirty Casual.
Yes, this is episode number 13. Lucky 13, y'all.
We have promised specialists for 13 episodes, I think. It feels that way anyway. And this week we actually get to talk about them.
Yeah, because it's actually a light Heroes week.
Surprisingly. I mean, it's been like 6 weeks straight of like constant content.
Well, they're going to make up for it next week. They're doing a lot of stuff again.
They are. I know. We get like a week of breathing room to kind of recuperate, and then it's just right back into new content.
It's feast or famine.
It is, really, yeah.
So, but it's actually been a big week for us. So, you guys want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, let's go for it.
So, we actually were invited to do an interview on the podcast Realm Maintenance by Ro. So, you guys can check that out. I thought it was a really fun interview, and we really were excited to be on the podcast. And we're really, hoping we get to meet more people and see more faces after that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
You can catch that at realm-maintenance.com. And it also has a bunch of other podcasts on there. He does a show weekly. It's a Blizzard podcast about Blizzard podcasts. So we're really happy to have that opportunity. And I thought, we really appreciate Ro's time.
And we'll be up on the March 1st episode.
That's correct. We'll be on the next episode, which is March 1st.
That sounds like something that would be on like the Esports Seinfeld Twitter account. It's a Blizzard podcast about Blizzard podcasts.
Well, yeah, it is what it is, though.
It is,
it's exactly what it is. And he's been so gracious and so kind to us, rather, and put up our episodes every week on his show and on his website. So we're very thankful for that.
Absolutely.
It was a blast to talk about ourselves with somebody else.
Yes,
yeah. Instead of just talking to us about us.
Mic's off, just dark in the corner.
We also got to talk about our Twitch stream, and he was there yesterday, or actually 2 days ago. We're actually recording late this week because I am actually sick. So I'm sorry if I sound weird. I'm on pain meds. So
it happens.
You're forgiven.
Yeah, please forgive me.
I don't know about the audience.
Yeah.
We forgive you. So it's okay.
So we got to plug our free play show, which was not as great this week as it normally goes.
It's funny because, like, on paper, there were a lot of great heroes. That list of heroes being
Malfurion, Tassadar, Leoric, Vala, Diablo, Kerrigan, Nazebo, Sylvanas, Lunara, and Stitches.
And those heroes, I mean, there's really not like a super weak character amongst those heroes. I think the problem we were coming across is that a lot of those heroes just didn't really have a lot of strong synergy with each other, or if they did, we just weren't picking it.
Yeah. We just weren't capitalizing on the synergies that we had when we had them, I think. If we had them.
Well, there's a couple of them I can see, like Stitches into Malfurion roots, I think is a pretty obvious one. Honestly, I think the issue here was it's a lot of like sustained damage. The only burst we have on here really is Kerrigan.
And it's not that much burst.
Period. And maybe Diablo a little who can encourage burst. But really that's it. Kerrigan is the only burst hero on this list. Everyone else is kind of sustained. Malfurion sustained. Tassadar almost requires a auto attack team to be, and that's still a sustained kind of healing / shielding. Leoric doesn't really provide any burst; he provides disruption. Stitches again is kind of sustained and disruption. Lunara is sustained. Sylvanas is good, but
it's still not that bursty.
No, yeah. So I think we were getting out healed. We'd actually had very high damage every single game.
We did, yeah.
But no,
our stats were solid.
Yes.
It was a stats game.
But we were going up against Rhaegar as our healer a lot of times.
So,
and it's just, it's so hard to heal, to do sustained damage through his heal.
Yeah, the fact that we didn't have Rhaegar actually did kind of hurt us, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. Actually, we can talk about that next show. But, I think this is a good roster this week. And if you're playing single queue, you're going to do great. Or even duo queue, you can really do great. But I do think you should maybe stick with some other maybe more bursty heroes, and that would help you out with this team, because this team really needs a kill securer. It's really good at initiating and like whittling people down, but to kill secure would all be on Kerrigan, which is hard.
Keeping people locked down.
Yeah,
this team's really good at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this lineup had a lot of strengths, but we're still transitioning through that burst meta thing. So you still need to have somebody to secure kills. This week, I can't talk. Last week it was you.
Well, we're both tired. We were up very late because of my pain. So
it's 3 o'clock in the morning. We're recording.
We had to get it done today.
We all have to work tomorrow.
It's gonna be a long Friday.
It is.
But yeah, I mean, and we actually didn't get to some of these heroes. I mean, we don't normally get to all of them, but I wish that we maybe could have seen a little bit of Nazebo last night. I think that would have been good. And
I guess I didn't even realize he was one of the...
I was looking at his stats, and, in the last 7 days, he's like number 3 on Hero League, Diamond or Platinum Plus. He gets a win rate, which is really impressive, actually. I didn't think that, Nazebo of all characters kind of was up there. So
he's solid.
He is
hero.
He's a solid specialist, which I think brings us to our next topic.
Yep. Like we said, we've been trying to go over our specialists now for like 4 weeks, but Blizzard's been dumping news on us like crazy. But this week we finally get to come back to them. So this is our week where we talk about specialists.
What's a specialist, Oakley?
Specialists do all kinds of crap.
Whatever the other people don't.
Right, pretty much. But sometimes they still do that too.
Yes.
Specialists are, as far as trying to define what a specialist does, what they do better than anybody else, it seems like, is soak XP. That is the one thing you can say a specialist can do better than almost any other hero. You can't really break them into separate categories like you can with warriors or assassons.
Also,
or
there's
support.
not a ton of specialists in this game.
No, there really
I
aren't.
believe there are 8 or
Let's
9.
see, 3, 6, 9, 10.
Oh, 10. Okay.
10 specialists.
Soon to be 11, or is that including...
Currently 9, 10 with Zool.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying, trying to break them down like we did with our other classes just doesn't work very well. They're just... because they all pretty much do the same thing. With a few exceptions, but we'll get to those. We'll just start with the Diablo universe specialists. We've got Nazebo, who we were just talking about. He is just crazy as far as he's great sustain. He can be annoying in a lane. He can push down a lane of creeps very, very quickly and put pressure on your walls and towers without really having to do a whole lot. He's got some great ults that come into team fights. Both of them are solid picks. Got a good front line. The Ravenous Spirit can decimate a front line or a back line or whatever is in its way.
I think it definitely excels at backline killing. If you have a Leeming back there or even a Morales, you can make somebody run for their life.
Yeah,
it's very good.
He doesn't,
and it goes so far. I think it goes almost in an infinite range. I think you can chase somebody as long as it's up.
Almost. It does have a range on it, but it's so far. I don't think it matters. I think the big thing is its casting range, which can feel a little short sometimes. If it doesn't secure kills, it'll at least force people out of the fight, which means you win. Mm-hmm. Like you don't have to get the kill in order to win.
I want a skin for it where it's like one of those like vinyl air-filled guys in front of car dealerships.
The wacky inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Yeah, one of those guys.
That'd be one of the best things ever.
What if it was like a Patronus and he was like straight out of Hogwarts? Like
that would be crazy. That would be really crazy. So Nazebo is always a pretty solid pick, like we were just saying.
I think the biggest thing about Nazebo, and I think they're going to have to change this soon, is that his level 1 talents, there's only one level 1 talent to take, and that is Death Ritual, I believe was what it's called.
Yeah.
And this makes him a late game monster.
Oh, it's crazy. And if you haven't played Nazebo before, his Death Ritual talent gives you, 2% or 5%?
I think it's actually a flat number.
No, it's a percent. I think. It might be flat. I think
it's like a flat. Yeah,
it's
I
a
think
flat
it's
number.
5 or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Anyway,
yes.
Every time you kill something with poison, doesn't matter what it is. If it has your trait poison on it, you gain 5 health and mana. Permanently.
Yes.
That's bonkers.
Along with regenning 2% health and mana, which the trait does passively. So, and it's not uncommon to get 100 stacks plus in a game.
And this also applies, I believe, to summons and stuff too, because I think if you kill like a Baneling or something like that,
yeah,
you also
anything. Anything dies with your poison on it. Like, you don't have to be the one that kills it. You can just hit everything and walk away. And you will end up with hundreds of these. So it's not uncommon at the end of the game to have an extra 1,000 health on top of your base. Nothing else in that tier is worth taking, honestly.
I have one more tip for Nazebo, and that is that your Gargantuan, which is the other ult we did not talk about in depth. But it can also do a stomp. It's not like almost obvious right away, especially like in the heat of battle. But if you push R again, he'll do like a stomp where he's at.
I think they've added that to the tooltip.
I think it was always in the tooltip. I just think that it wasn't necessarily, sometimes it's hard to read tooltips in the middle of a fight, or you kind of,
You don't always get to try your hero before you go into battle.
Yeah, I don't know. I miss stuff all the time. That's one I didn't know, and sometimes I don't see. And you can also lower your zombie wall by pushing W again, which is another big thing.
Don't kill
or
your
is it W
teammates.
or E? Yeah.
Don't kill your teammates.
I think one of the best things about Nazebo, and this is going to be said probably about every single specialist on this list, is that he is incredibly annoying.
Oh, yeah.
Corpse Fighters is the dumbest ability in the video game, and I'm sure I'm going to say at least one of that for every character that's a specialist. But, like, specialists excel at pissing people off.
Yeah.
They're really, really good at being super annoying. It's true.
Special mention to a couple of them, which I'm sure will be addressed.
Oh, yes. They're coming. I have one coming up right now, actually, that I consider to be super annoying.
Oh, yeah?
Asmodan.
Yes.
I hate this guy. I hate him so much.
He's a bad man.
He is one of the evils, like, from the Diablo universe. He's horrible. He's got so much health. He creates armies of minions. Have
you seen the guy?
He's got nipple rings.
He's healthy.
And like, a mouth on his stomach. His stomach eats for itself.
He has a stomach now?
Yeah.
Oh, weird. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I can't tear my eyes away from those nipple earrings every time I see them. I'm just like, ugh.
I just imagine them as like googly eyes.
No, now I'm never gonna be able to see that.
New skin.
Jesus.
So that's what Asmodan looks like to me. But he buffs the minion waves himself with his D, where he summons a warrior or whatever.
Yes, I think it's General of Hell.
Yeah, General of Hell, and just buffs all the minions. They get extra life. They do extra damage. Like he doesn't,
Which is global.
Yeah, he just put that somewhere. When he's top lane, he put it in bottom lane, so he's pushing 2 lanes. It's like, he's super annoying. I hate him so much.
And most Asmodans will shove one lane. That's pretty much how they operate.
Yeah, he stays in one lane and he throws the generals down in another one to help shove the rest of it. It's awful. And then his dunk goes forever. I've been killed by that more than I want to even try to recount.
The thing about Asmodan is for the dunk to do that much damage, it's hard to pull off like in a quick match or something, because it really requires a lot of team coordination. If you have a lot of people to work with you, picking the talent that stacks the damage on your, I don't even know what it's actually called, your dunk.
Yeah.
The dunk ability, really can be dangerous. Otherwise, I think it's really hard to pull off and not really worth it. And I think you're better off taking the talent that buffs it if you throw it far away.
I think those two typically go together with the dunk build, don't they? Aren't they different tiers?
No, they're the same tier.
Are they the same tier?
Yes.
I thought they were different. Anyway.
No, they're not. Yeah. They're actually, I think, both tier 1, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't played Asmodan much. He's like level 4.
No, you have to kind of choose what you're going to go for, and that's what you do.
Speaking of builds, there's the awful, terrible laser build.
Man, the laser is very deceiving, because it's like, I can man fight this guy. Like, you can just stand toe-to-toe with him, right?
No.
That's what you assume, because it's like, he uses dunk. What else is he going to do? Summon a minion at me? No, he's going to melt your face off.
Yeah. That laser's dumb. You cannot fit in that laser.
Yeah, it hurts really bad.
It hurts so bad.
Well, it's got so many buffs along the way. Like, it has a buff where it does just flat out extra damage. It does extra damage to structures.
He has a buff where he can just walk?
Yeah. He get.
That's the scariest one. Who cares how much extra damage you can get on it? You can actually start moving at you? Ooh. Well, scary.
Not only is he walking at you, but he's doing damage to you, and he's healing from that damage.
It's dumb.
It's awful.
It's dumb.
And the range on it is nuts. So, I don't know if you guys realize this, but he can kill all the fountains on the Battlefield of Eternity map. Like, all of them.
At once?
From a safe range. Like, he can just he just dunks where the fountain is, then he can see it, and then he just hits it with the laser until it dies.
Yeah.
And then he runs up to the top lane, and he does it again. And then he can get the middle one if everybody's distracted. Like, you can be out of fountains before anything's even happen.
He's a very rude man.
I hate him.
He steals your Gatorade.
He's so annoying.
Steals your Gatorade.
Let's see. What are his 2 ults? He's got the summon a bajillion minions.
And the Blackpool.
And the Blackpool. So
one's like, Army of Hell or something, and the other one's Blackpool.
He just summons a bajillion minions on top of a fort or a keep, and it's going to die.
Mings everywhere start crying.
God. There are two characters. The two characters I absolutely hate going against on Li Ming is Asmodean and Zagara for this exact reason. They are so hard to hit. They interrupt your skill shots. And that's a really good point to talk about with Asmodean, because I feel like with Asmodean, he has so much health already that making him harder to hit makes him even more annoying to deal with. And same thing also goes for Nazebo, because Nazebo can drop, say, like his zombies in front of himself to save him from skill shots. So, because they're able to be hit. So.
Yeah. You trapped, no, you didn't trap. Your orb got trapped in zombie walls.
That was pretty funny. Yeah, and it killed the whole zombie wall at once. It was pretty cool. I got that on tape.
Put it up around.
Yeah, it was perfect.
It was really strange because like I threw it at something and like it was at the very end of its range and
the zombies popped up.
It was like zombies popped up and it exploded inside and all the zombies died. It was so weird. Like
it was one of the coolest things.
It was. I have a tape. Show them on the tapes.
Check the tapes.
Check the tapes.
It's a Black Hearts of A, so we can't find it.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is Black Pool. It just boosts his damage to a stupid level, but he has to stay in the black.
Yeah, you have to stand in it. See, I didn't know that's what that meant for a long time. I thought that it was like you had to throw the pool on something else and then hit stuff in it. Yeah, that's what I thought it was, but it's not. It buffs you.
Yeah. So
you and your minions.
Yes.
So if you've gone stupid dunk build and you managed to get a decent number of stacks with Black Pool, you might be able to almost one-shot that Li Ming.
Especially if you did glass cannon. Yeah. I have really been toasted by some Azadans in my life.
It's scary. Like, even if you're somebody that's got a lot of health, you can be scary with that dunk.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we've got for the Diablo universe right now. Zul's coming in, but that's not till next week. We've got StarCraft universe coming up next. We'll talk about Sergeant Hammer, because she's kind of unique in the way she functions. She's great at pushing. Her auto attack damage is stupid high. If she can get into siege mode. But she's also incredibly, incredibly fragile. Doesn't have a lot of escape, which is crazy because she always seems to get away from me. Always. And it's really, really annoying.
Those thrusters go pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's weird. Like, Sergeant Hammer's one of those characters where, like, when I load up against her, it's either going to be the best game of my life or the worst game of my life.
Absolutely.
Like, there are some heroes that just destroy.
And the thing with Sergeant Hammer is that she by herself is good, but she really relies on the rest of her team in order to do really, really well.
Right. And so she has good peel. Like, that's it. If basically all you have to do is play the Protect the Hammer game. And she synergizes so well with characters like ETC, Muradin, Morales, Diablo, anybody who... Yeah,
anybody that can just protect her, like get in the way. A strong front line with her, like a 2-tank front line with her, is devastating. It's really, really annoying. But if you catch her out, when she can't stand on her own against most heroes, she has to run.
Right. It depends. Like, for example, like a lot of mages can't even get to her before she blows them up. Except for Li Ming. Li Ming's the only one I think who can actually stay out of the range and shoot her and kill her.
I don't know about anymore, but I know like Hel'thas was known for a long time as like the hammer killer.
Well, he still is because he can stun her still. Like he can catch her in the gravity lapse.
Gravity lapse, or she's, what's the thing she does where she just stands still?
Siege.
She siege up, and then he just pyroblast it, or not pyroblast. Well, pyroblast wouldn't work. Yeah.
Gravity
flame strike.
Yeah.
Gravity lapse and just everything on her. And
now that you can't really perform the full combo on her anymore, I don't think it works as well. Because the full combo, it takes too long to perform the combo now that the stun doesn't work well for it. Because it's almost required for you to get your flame strike off in order to kill her like that. What she's going to do, you're already far away from her, you're just going to thrust her and get away. Like, oh well.
Well, even if she gets away, it stopped her from sieging in the bottom lane.
Yeah, but she'll be back.
She'll always be back.
She'll be back. Oh, she'll go to another lane,
Yeah, and that's the thing with Special-ist, and you'll see as we talk about this, they almost have to be babysat the entire game. There are some of them that are way worse than others, but there are some that you just have to babysit. Hammer and Asmodean so far are two that you have to babysit constantly.
Yeah, they're a constant threat to the back door.
You cannot... You cannot take your eyes off of them, or they will be in there and you won't be ready.
Oh my god.
If you can protect Hammer, she's incredibly lethal. Catch her on her own, not so much. She's got 2 ults. You see, you have some people that are in love with the BFG, And it's hilarious when you can get 5 kills with 1 shot because everybody else had just been whittled down. But overall, it's considered the lesser of the 2 ultimates just because its cooldown is as long as it is. And Napalm, her other ultimate, is just a ground-targeted AoE that just does damage for its entire duration. I don't know what the cooldown is on that.
It's really very short.
It's really, really short.
I think it's like 6 seconds. Like, it's really, really,
yeah,
really,
it's
really
like
short.
stupid. It can be, you always have Napalm up on
almost
something.
Almost, yeah.
So
it's great for sieging. It's great for team fights. Like, it's just, and on top of that, it doesn't even cost you that much mana on a character that has no mana issues.
Yeah, you can just fire away.
Because she's almost purely AA. I mean, she really is purely AA because her Q is just her mines, I believe.
She's got the knockback,
concussive blast. She's got the mine. She has siege mode. That's all she's got. None of those really do like damage. She just sits in one spot and does AA damage. So
yeah, and
you can use all your mana on Napalm and it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's great. Makes her very, very scary with Morales, like you said, though. Stim Drone Hammer is one of the worst things you can ever see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have a lot of synergy together.
It's terrifying.
Another thing I like, so going back to her ultimates really fast, I do think that since they buffed BFG recently, and they gave it some more damage, this can almost one-shot Li Ming now if she has a glass cannon, which is pretty messed up. Yeah, that's pretty messed up.
That's awesome.
And it's also really good for, say, on certain maps, I feel like it's okay. You know, as long as you take the level 20 upgrade where it's constantly orbiting, because it can actually take down a keep eventually.
It can take out forts and keeps.
Especially now that it has more damage, it definitely can.
And there's not a damn thing you can do about it.
Another thing you can do is send it up the middle, going like vertically on the
core.
No, not on the core. Going vertically on Dragonshire.
Oh.
And it goes through the middle, and it'll go through both shrines. So that's really devastating for, making it hard to get the dragon.
I have never seen that happen.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I want to see that happen.
Yeah. So
that's great.
That's a good one. There's a lot of like interesting uses you could do for. It's just that it's hard to give up Napalm for that. But I do think it has some, like I said, some benefits on specific maps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really cool to see.
Yeah. Or you imagine like on Tower of Doom, like across the top 2 shrines.
Yeah, if you make it to level 20, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it can be over well before that. Our next specialist, though, one of the most picked, I think, like one of the best out there, period, is just Zagara.
Very high, I think, on utility and damage. I mean, she's got it all.
She's just got so much going for her here. She dumps out a ton of damage. She is amazing for team fights. She provides vision. Everywhere she's been, everywhere she's going, she can let your team see where the enemy is the entire game. And it makes it very hard for the enemy team to come up and basically do ambushes or counterattack or anything like that when Zagara can see you everywhere you are. All of her abilities spawn something that they do damage. They cause towers to attack. She's great at very quickly clearing creep waves, minion waves, and just putting tons and tons and tons of pressure on a lane. It seems crazy, but the banelings are cute. Every one of those will take bullets from a tower.
Yep, they're little. They all have health bars. They can actually be even killed if you.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
I think I've seen
somehow did it.
My favorite is having them get rooted by Malfurion.
That's like the best. That's hilarious.
Little roly-polies.
Mm-hmm.
And her hunters, when you upgrade them to Mutalisk, they just chase people, very similar to Raynor's Raiders. I don't think they're quite as fast though.
They are basically mini Raynors, dude. They do so much damage.
They hurt
so much.
They hurt a lot, but you can run away from them, unlike the Raiders. I have never been able to outrun Raiders.
Yeah, that's true. Raiders are fast. However, if you go ahead and take the talent where she moves 40% faster or whatever on creep, they will catch you every time.
Yeah.
As long as you're running on creep. But I mean, if you're doing that, you're going creep build, which is like, well, the whole map is covered in creep now. Oh crap. Which is actually getting very popular nowadays, I've noticed.
Who was it that popularized that build recently? Like a pro player brought that out.
I don't know, honestly, but I'm sure, I mean, it's especially on maps like Blackheart's Bay or or even Garden Terror. It's a really good map for creeps.
Yeah.
And the Tomb of the Spider Queen. Excellent.
Yeah.
Very,
anywhere
very
where there's like ambushes happening all the time. A single point where something is going to be like heavily contested.
It's weird because it's really, really good on huge maps, and it's really, really good on small maps. Because small maps, you can see the entire map, and on really huge maps, you can like monitor important places.
Right. To see who's going where.
Right.
Keep an eye on it. Both of her ultimates also have some use.
I disagree with that.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's a very specific use for Nidus. It is a very specific use. It's a total backdoor build. That is...
By taking that, you just remove the ability to have like one of the best teamfight ultimates in the game.
This is true. And it's not going to work in every team because of that. Like, your entire team has to kind of be built around the idea of just pushing hard the entire game and not so much worrying about team fights. So, it's another build that you don't see much in Quick Match because you don't get that synergy. But it's just everything spawns more minions. You can just push down even faster than you can already.
My problem with that is it's like, she's not Asmodan, right? She doesn't have that health pool, so if she gets cut out, she's dead. None of those abilities help her.
That's what Nidus, that's part of what Nidus does. It lets her get in quickly and fuck some shit up, and if she has to leave, Nidus gone.
I suppose so, yeah.
Her lack of health pool comes with increased mobility all over the map.
Right.
Her other one, like Argyle said, is one of the best team fight ultimates in the game. Devouring Maw.
Like, even if you don't actually get people in the maw, you can. It still is like terrain created basically to keep people out of a fight or into a fight.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
It's separation. It's zoning. I mean, ultimate zoning, because it's...
You either get out of it, or you get caught in it, or you get trapped by it. And
it's big too. Like, the area is actually quite big.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger than you think. I get caught in it all the time.
I get caught on the edge a lot too. She's really good. She works really well with like Envenom Spines. She works really well with Rapid Incubation or with her creep talents. Honestly, I think she's a solid pick. I don't think she's going to go anywhere soon because she is very, very, very strong. When I play her, I'm usually almost top tier damage all the time.
Top hero, top siege, top experience. It's really easy to get top of that. I'd say Zagara's biggest downside is that she can't ride Space Lord Leoric's mount. And I think that's a big oversight by Blizzard.
Blizzard, please.
Just put her on the motorcycle. That's all I'm asking for.
Blizzard, please.
I don't think that's too much of a request.
You know what? We've predicted the last 3 things to come out of Blizzard. This is what's going to happen. They're going to do it. They clearly listen to us. So
bugs on bikes. Bugs on bikes. Bugs on.
We should make T-shirts.
Oh my god!
Hashtag bugs on bikes.
Yeah.
2016.
Who's next on your list?
We have another bug.
Another bug. A lot of bugs.
Sort of a bug.
He's a bug. Bug slug.
Bug slug.
Yeah.
Slug, bug, grub.
The slug bug? Oh my god.
Depending on which hero is talking about them. Abathur. Mm-hmm. Somebody that I am not very good with. I have not played much Abathur. I have not got a chance to get good with him. But our friend Jinx plays him. It plays fantastic Abathur. He's super annoying. Super annoying.
A good one is super annoying.
A good one is super annoying. He can contribute very effectively to team fights. He can be pushing down lanes, just tons of locusts popping up in there, soaking experience in one lane by himself or in 2 lanes, body soaking plus the hat. Mines, the mine build is the enemy of everybody, but especially our stealth assassins, Zeratul and Nova, as they're suddenly, you can always see where they're at. They're always popping up. You always have an idea.
And they've now been slowed or dismounted for 4 seconds. That is, I don't think there's very few things in this game that make me rage more than trying to run to an objective and then getting dismounted and slow for a whopping 4 seconds. That is a long time to be slowed.
Yeah.
For as much as it slows you, it is one of the most infuriating things.
Yeah,
it makes people
terrible.
late all the time. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what's for.
And not to mention that you end up with some crazy plays where Falstad is trying to fly across the map and dies before he gets there because of a mine bomb.
Yeah, he works well with Stitches too. Stitches can drag people into a minefield. You need about 5 to 9 mines to make that happen.
Yeah, it takes several. But it can be a lot of fun. And you see videos of it all the time where he's surrounded himself with mines in a corner and some squishy assassin goes to kill him and he doesn't even get close.
So, I mean, the thing I like about this character is that he's like, out of all the characters I can think of, other than Lost Vikings, which I'm sure you'll get to as well soon, but is the skill cap. Like, it's very obvious that this is a skill cap hero. And even the skill floor is kind of high, too, on him.
To be good with him, the skill floor is definitely high. And one of the things you see with a new Avatar player or somebody that hasn't reached that skill floor yet is they stay in your base.
Right.
And then just do the hat on heroes throughout the map, place some mines. You can play him that way, but you're missing out on a great deal of what he can contribute to your team. You're missing all of the XP,
Yeah, so let's think about what is Avatar's job, right? Like, what are Avatar's jobs, I should say, actually, because he has many jobs. And that's what makes him such a hard hero to play, is that you're constantly managing cooldowns that you can't always see. I do wish they would kind of put his other like, say you're hatting somebody, I wish they would put his cooldowns that are not on the hat on your bar somewhere so you could see them, so you could unhat and then start putting more down.
Yeah.
So his job would be to hat people and help in team fights, body soak lanes that don't have any presence in them, put mines down, and I guess that's about it, though. But those three things are a lot of things to handle. Oh, and then also managing Locust if you take Locust build.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and then that takes some balls, because a lot of times you have to really get in there, drop a bunch of Locusts, and then get out. And that can be very difficult, and take some extreme map awareness.
Like I've played Avatar to like 9, and I still feel like I'm just like, I'm okay. Like,
yes, and the other thing that just reminded me of another one. His ultimate. There are two ultimates. There's Monstrosity.
They're both so good.
I disagree with that. I don't think Monstrosity is very good at all.
Really?
I don't think so. I think Monty the Monstrosity, I don't think is very good, because you can provide a lot more to fights with the cloning ability, and unless you really babysit the Monstrosity, it dies very quickly. Because if you have anybody that's kind of worth their salt, they're going to go up, kill the Monstrosity, and then it's dead. It doesn't get very far, and then now you just lost your ultimate. Versus, double Brightwing or double Jaina or whatever. That can be devastating and wipe a team, which I think is more impactful than maybe sending one assassin up to kill something and coming back out.
I think we see a lot of misuse of monstrosities. I think it needs to be treated more like a merc camp, where they have to be focused on a specific point on the map, and therefore the monstrosity is in a different lane pushing and knocking down walls or towers or something.
So that's the problem, though, right? Like, is that it has to farm before it's worth anything. It's not very strong at like level 1, essentially.
I think it's very good on large maps where teams really can't split off very far. Like I take it often on like Black Hearts and
Curse Hollow.
Curse Hollow, yes, exactly. Yeah. Where basically your team, because you can still provide to the team, even though you don't have the other ultimate evolution, you still provide a lot to the team fight by having someone slapping mines down, stuff like that. And at the same time, you can have your guy down there pushing, destroying a lane while the team's fighting. So basically, they have the option of trying to remain in that team fight and get the tribute or what have you, or sending down the one person to do that and then almost guaranteeing that they lose the fight. Like, I still think Ultimate Evolution, in, like, most cases, is the better pick. But I still think the other one's a decent call. I pick it probably 30%.
I think both results are honestly in a good spot. I mean, there are situations where you're going to pick one over the other, as Argyle just said. You don't consider one, most of the time, you don't consider one required. I think Avatar, as far as his talents go, is in a really good spot. He's got a lot of stuff that he can take. A couple of different builds. I think he's all right. I'm terrible with it. I need to practice.
Play StarCraft.
I'm not very good at StarCraft. So that's
Funny enough, apparently Sergeant Hammer's a lot like StarCraft too, because like her unit apparently is a lot like the way the unit works in StarCraft.
It just is.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're done with StarCraft. Got all our StarCraft heroes.
Goodbye, StarCraft.
Put it in the bag.
Deleted.
Delete those characters.
Get out.
We're done.
Yeah.
Now we're coming into the Warcraft universe.
Yes.
And we'll start with the most annoying one here, I think. Mercy.
The baby. Oh.
Tiny poopy baby.
Tiny shitty baby Murky.
He's awful.
This is the character I play when I want to smile in the video game.
This is the character I want to kick in the face.
He'll be right back waiting for more.
He likes to be kicked in the face. That's kind of his job. Basically, Murky is just going to stay there. You can't ignore him. You can't spend energy to kill him. If Murky dies saving somebody else, that's win. He wins. He has a couple of different builds. He's a fantastic duelist.
The interesting thing about him is that it's like even if he dies, he ultimately almost always wins trades. That's really the craziest thing about him is that he can die and still win the trade if the other person dies, or maybe the other person doesn't die but it's so close to dead that, he's an excellent, and he's a surprising, like you said, an excellent duelist. A slime build in particular.
The thing is that it takes 4 Murky kills to equal 1 regular kill. So even if you kill him twice before he kills you, you lose.
Yeah.
You just lost that duel.
Yep.
Like, the only time that starts coming into question is if the team that Murky's on is down in levels. Because then he starts becoming worth significantly more.
Right.
The further ahead your team is. So, yeah, that's just the comeback mechanic in general. As we said, Murky's a great duelist. He's super annoying with the pufferfish. It blows up.
Does
minions.
a lot of damage.
Yeah, it just blows up minion waves just by itself. It just runs in, poops on everything, drops a fish, and
it's so hard to target too.
They've made it a lot better. Yes,
This actually fought a Murky. So.
Yes, I honestly have made it a lot better. I have a much easier time. The whole issue with it is that you just have to be on it immediately as it goes down because it actually has a significant amount of health. Like you really have
3
to.
hits.
3 hits.
Yeah, 3 hits. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the chest. It has 3 health, but everything that hits it is 1 damage, no matter what.
Yeah, you can't use any abilities on it or anything like that, yeah.
So, you just have to hit it 3 times. But a lot of heroes don't have a really fast auto attack. So, they're like barely making it in.
Yeah.
So. There's some characters where it just seems like it's almost like perfect.
Yeah.
Like Zagar's auto attack, even if you don't like stutter or anything, it's like 3 just standing auto attacks. As long as you target it, like the second it becomes targetable, is like the perfect amount of time. And it's like, that feels right.
Mm-hmm.
That does feel right. Vala's pretty close. Hers is a little bit quicker. You have a little bit of leeway with her. Melee heroes, I don't even try.
The other trick that Murky's used to do, and like I said, it's still easier now, but they used to just drop their pufferfish and then run around on top of the pufferfish so you would target them instead of the pufferfish. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad they've made that a little bit easier at least. I haven't really fought a Murky since they made the change. So I haven't, I really don't have any experience on that. He's got 2 ultimates like everybody else.
What, he does?
Yeah, crazy. I know. But everybody basically takes Octograph. He goes from being a awesome duelist to somebody that can really change the pace of a team fight.
It's like a delete button. I mean, really, it is. As long as you have a little bit of backup, it's pretty much a delete button because it's a long and mobile.
How long is it?
Like 3 or 4 seconds, I think.
Yeah, it feels like 3. I think it's like 3 seconds.
Well,
1, 2, 3. That sounds about right. Yeah.
His slow is 8 seconds. It is.
He has the longest slow in the game.
The longest slow in the game.
What slows?
His slime.
His slime. When he comes.
Oh, really?
When he comes and poops on your feet. Yeah.
That's why he feels like he can always chase you down.
Because he can.
Because he can.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah,
and the cooldown on slime is 8 seconds. So he basically just spams slime as soon as it comes up, and you're constantly slowed.
Yeah. It's brutal. It's so.
Which is why he's also very good on teams with Executioner. Because he has an AoE slow. It's an AoE slow, yeah.
I've never played Monkey, so.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's actually very, very, very fun. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually in your favor if you have a Murky on your team to take Executioner. Anything that boosts your damage against slowed, rooted, stunned targets, take it.
Mm-hmm.
So, because you will always have that with Murky. Always.
The other ultimate is March of the Murlocs.
And it's
a weird ultimate, though.
It's fun, but I don't feel like it quite does enough.
Makes you laugh.
It does make you laugh.
It's cute.
Well, yeah, you see Murky sit back and he blows on the conch and all these tiny Murlocs come up out of the ground and just charge to their doom, basically. If you get several of them on you, it sucks. Like, you're not going anywhere. It stacks up a poison that can go, like, stupid high.
Do they all have their own hitbox? Like, can you dodge the Murlocs?
Yes.
Okay.
You can dodge. They just kind of run out randomly, but if you can weave through them, they have to actually run in.
Yeah, I've dodged them before, but like only because I got out of it. But
I've also died to it.
There's a very annoying character in Dota named Tinker who has an ability called March of the Machines as a baseline ability. It is very similar to March of the Murlocs, and it took me the longest time to figure out. Oh yeah, all these things have an individual hitbox, so I can actually like
weave in and out of them.
Dance in between. It's very difficult to do, but you can minimize some of the damage.
Right. So just eating them all.
Oh my god, it's disastrous.
Man, that sounds awful. That does not sound fun at all.
Another thing is about Murky is he's actually like an excellent late game hero. Like if you get to late game, level 20, he's got maybe Anasark 2, which is the ultimate upgrade for Octograb, and it does a crap ton of damage. He really does a crap ton of damage with that.
Yeah, suddenly, like...
I think his scaling is also very good, and he has another talent called Living the Dream, which is basically almost like gathering power.
It is gathering.
It only goes to 15%. So
right, but you don't have to get kills for it.
It's just like every 5 seconds you're alive, you get 1 or 2%.
Yeah,
or
so
whatever.
30 to 60 seconds, you max it out.
Right, it's about a minute before you maxed, which is really easy to get because actually after a certain point, it's almost hard to die as Murky. You have to be really, really brazen to die. If you play even somewhat conservatively, you can keep it for the entire game.
Yeah, and that's what makes him so good. When, he catch you an Octograb with a pufferfish, and he just smack you around. You'll almost one-shot most assassins with that.
Yes,
at level 20.
That's true.
Like, there are very few that will get caught in that at 80% health and walk away.
Yeah, if you have Puffer and Anashark too, yeah, they'll die.
It's awful. You just hear us screaming when it happens. Because without cleanse, you're dead. There's nothing you can do about it.
Help!
It's just the sound of defeat. It's like, oh, well, I'm dead. Good night.
Yep.
I'll be back in 60 seconds. Awful. So that's our other super annoying specialist. Up next, we've got Sylvanas. One of our, I think, the show's favorite specialists for sure. She disables towers. She's highly mobile, does a ton of damage. It's not unusual to see her with 50,000 plus damage. If she's active in the team fights, she is great at pushing towers, forts. She just disables them, makes it so your team can fight underneath them. She can make minion waves just explode. Literally
not
explode.
quite as good, but still very good.
Yeah, that's been adjusted.
They used to apparently blow up people.
Unstable poison is disgusting. It still is like a must pick. But
yeah. It's super good.
But it used to be Kael'thas at release levels of broken.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah, it was bad. But that's been fixed. She can easily solo all the camps. Like, she can do the hard camps by herself, no problem. She's just extremely versatile. Once again, you can't really leave her alone. If you leave her alone, she will push down your towers. She'll push down your towers, she'll push down your keep. At the very least, she's going to put a ton of pressure on. And she can leave the creep wave to push it down, whatever.
The biggest problem with Sylvanas is that it's so tempting to sit there and be like, I can get this keep, I can get this, because it's not going to hurt me. I know I can do this. And then 5 enemies collapse on you, and you're like, oh crap, I can't do anything. Like,
yeah, she's probably the one, and I think we mentioned this when we talked about our favorite, before. She is super easy to get overextended with and stay there.
Yeah.
Because it makes you cocky.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
It feels she feels so powerful. I think that's one of the cool things about her is that I really like her because I like powerful characters, and disabling structures in this game, especially now that structures are so much more dangerous.
They hurt again.
That is like, wow, this is really good. This feels really powerful.
Yeah. It's fantastic. And she pushes with a Punisher or the Immortal.
Yeah, that's a tip.
It really, really helps you get the most out of those summons.
Right, so that's a good tip, is that always, Sylvanas should always go with the summon if there's a summon.
As a general rule, when you get a summon, everybody should split and go soak. So that because the enemy team will most likely come back and all be defending in one lane. If you're behind and you get an Immortal, you can catch up. If you're ahead, you can keep your lead. If you have Sylvanas, she should stay with your Immortal, because she can help get the most out of it.
I think the biggest problem with Sylvanas is talent variety. She's basically forced to take Envenom at 4 because there's really nothing there, and not even that Envenom is a good choice either. It's just like
it's the
all
lesser
the
of the evils.
It's the less bad.
Yeah, it's like just a very weak talent here, and she's one of those heroes where it's just like very clear that she has like a build.
Yeah, I think she has basically 2 builds. And that's like she has a push build, like an all mercs build, and then she has like a team fighty kind of build. And then she had I think her biggest problem is not only that, but she has like a few trap talents. Talents are just bad. Like they're not even like just less good, than something else. They are just actually bad, and that's not okay. Like I don't think that you should ever be. I think for new players that really sucks to try to like.
Yeah, because you look at something and you're reading the description, and you're like, "Oh, this sounds cool. This has to be good." And it's like, well,
doesn't she get demolitionist?
Yes.
And it's like, why?
What? Yeah.
I mean, like, you already disable towers.
There's no point.
Why do you just sap their ammo too? Like, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like on paper, it's like, okay, cool. I'm a specialist. I break towers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Zagara has it, and Nazebo has it too.
Why?
And nobody takes it. It's a terrible talent in general.
And also, even after making it like super bribe, possession is still shitty.
Oh yeah.
I took it on accident the other day.
The only times I've ever taken it have been on accident.
Yeah.
I took it once on Towers of Doom, and we lost that game.
We did win the last one I played. Were you there?
Yeah.
I took it on accident. I started screaming because I've made a huge mistake, and then but we won. We did win. It was on a Cursed Hollow game, so I think that's also partly why we won.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
Whoa, hold on. So, okay, how did that work? Well, if you say did you ever get cursed and then use possession?
Yeah, so they got cursed, and I did use it on them, and it does because that's what happens. You have to turn their minions,
right? So
we cursed them. Their minions are all at 1 health. That's what you're asking, right?
Right.
So, and then you can turn them, and they
get full health.
They get full health.
I wonder how it works vice versa.
I don't know.
Like if you are cursed, and
I would
convert their minions.
I don't think it
to one.
I would expect it to reduce it to 1 health. What it looks like it does, based on the way possession works, is the curse just changes like the max HP of your minions to 1.
Oh.
So they're at 100% health, but they only have 1 health to be at 100%.
I see.
The cool thing about possession, well, I can't even believe I just said this. One of the cool things is that you can get like globes really fast with it because you just switch the middle minion, like the mage minion, into your own, and it instantly gives you a globe. So that's kind of nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it drops the globe immediately. Yeah, well, because you don't ever take it. Nobody ever takes it. But I was like, oh, cool, I can get globe instantly. Boom, here's my globe. Okay, bye. Just running through the lanes.
And another thing you can do is I know a lot of people think that you just use it to take an entire wave and then you move on. Instead of taking an entire wave at once, if you just take the mage and the 3 archers in a creep wave, you end up, without having to do anything else, building a huge wave in that lane. Mm-hmm. Like, if you just want to go real quickly, push a wave out, you don't necessarily need to kill everything. You just kill the back 4, and then your next wave will help finish that one off, and you'll have enough archers to kill the next wave. And it'll just keep going.
You heard it here, folks. Dirty Casuals talking about the merits of possession.
Well, maybe our listeners will accidentally.
Yeah, well, this is what you can do. Yeah, exactly. If you
in case of emergency, play this episode.
Don't panic.
It's not the end of the world. It's just not real great.
This is not good. Yeah, it's not good.
Get ready to spend 15 minutes explaining to your team why they lost that team fight because you have Black Arrow.
And then, of course, the ultimate that everybody takes is Wailing Arrow.
That's that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Black Arrows are passive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I know, I get it mixed up too.
Whatever. I don't know abilities.
Because an AoE, like, what is it, 3-second silence?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it's long enough.
It's long enough to
And it has to be detonated.
Everything.
That's another thing you have to remember.
Yeah. So
does it detonate itself at the end?
I think if it reaches its...
Yeah, it has a distance. It has a max distance that it will travel. And if it reaches that, it detonates.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a thread on Reddit recently about things that people didn't realize, and a lot of it was Black Arrow. Like, a lot of people thought that it had to hit something and it would detonate, or that you couldn't detonate it, so you always had to be at max range when you shot it. So that's not the case. You push R, it flies out there. When it reaches where you want it to be, you hit R again, and that's it. That's how you use Black Arrow.
Wailing Arrow.
Wailing Arrow. Jesus, see, now I've done it.
I blew it.
Yeah.
You blew it. You ruined everything. But that's how you use Wailing Arrow. Once it reaches its target destination, you detonate it. Everybody is silenced. That doesn't stop Malfurion's ult.
No, because it's already casted, basically.
Right.
That's how he works, is that it's something he casts, and it's just like an aura.
It's just there.
Right.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
Yeah, the way to think about that is it's more like a buff than, like, he casts it and it's a buff versus, like, he's channeling it. He's not actually channeling it.
Right. So it doesn't turn off Malfurion. Does it turn off Lily?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
And it stops ETC?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really
Shuts
good.
those loud mounts up.
And if you've got a team that's like all in and you've done some damage to them, you silence them, you're going to get somebody killed. Like you will take somebody out of that fight at that point.
Just don't use it to engage. Just
don't ever use it to engage.
Don't do that.
You've
when everyone's
wasted
at full effect, it's a waste. It is absolutely a waste. You want to use it when people are going to start feeling desperate. You know, right before somebody blows their healing ult or whatever, like that. That's how you kill somebody.
Or if a crucial member on your team gets like CC'd and they're about to, the enemy team's about to follow up, you shut them up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, nope. It can either buy you time to kill somebody or buy you time to regroup, kind of. So
right. So just remember, not engage. Use it to kill dudes.
Yeah.
So
that leaves us with Gazlo.
Who?
Yeah, pretty much. That's how I feel about it.
Very sad.
It's a very sad hero.
He just looks like a fun hero.
He is fun, but that's his problem. He's just fun.
Right.
I like Murky, too. I think Murky's a more viable, quote-unquote, pick than Gazlo, but...
If you don't respect Gazlo,
Murky was picked in Worlds.
Yes.
And they won.
Yeah.
Was Gazlo?
That's true, no.
Gazlo, if you do not respect Gazlo and his turrets, you will die. Period.
Murky has like a 100% tournament win rate. Most powerful hero in the game.
Number 1 player killer hero, Murky.
Oh my gosh. Out of control. Murky must be stopped.
Number 1 player.
But no, you have to respect Gazlo and his turrets. They can be stupid. Don't stand in them. A good Gazlo player will have himself surrounded by turrets, and he'll just run you through them until you die.
He's just like misdirection 101 is what he does.
That's what he
just
does.
Like, come get me. Oh, you're running in all my turrets. Ha ha ha.
You drop the turrets, and then you drop the thing, the TNT behind them, so they can't run away. So now they're trapped in the turrets, and then you stand back and you line up a laser, so they either stand in the turrets and die, they run at you and try to get out of everything, or they run into the stun. They're not gonna do well.
And they'll come at you with the buzzsaws. Just kidding. Nobody takes that.
Nobody does that.
Nah.
He's an okay pusher. Like his turrets let him take down minion waves pretty quickly. He can do it pretty safely if he's paying attention to what's going on the map. He does have a great ult for teamfights though. The Gravel Bomb combo that you can pull off is fantastic.
Takes a couple seconds to get used to. Basically what you have to do, you need to drop your TNT first, wait a beat, and then drop your Gravel Bomb. That's kind of how you have to do it, because it does take your TNT is a little bit longer to set up than your Gravel Bomb takes to go off.
Yeah, I think it's 1 second.
I think it's about 1 second. Yeah, it's about one. It's just like a boop, one boop. You have to kind of hit the other one.
And especially if you've got a team that has a lot of strong follow-up AoE, Kael'thas, Jaina, ETC is great. You've got Nazebo with Ravenous Spirit. Because once everybody is grabbed by Gravel Bomb and pulled into the TNT and then stunned,
Diablo,
they're just waiting to be killed. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Gazlo by himself is not a really strong high pick hero. If you want to have a lot of fun, I definitely say you should learn to play him, get as good as you can with Gazlo.
He's a fun quick match character.
I think he's fun on particular maps, like the Immortals.
Right.
He can do a lot of damage to Battlefield of Eternity Immortals. Yeah. Like he can take them down by himself pretty quickly, even early game, because his turrets sit outside, like in that weird window where they can't be hit by any of the stuns.
The other thing is he has his level, I believe, 1 talent is very interesting, and a lot of people
reduce, recycle.
Yes, reduce, reuse, recycle. This is a talent that's actually not taken very much, I notice. And I think it's a lot stronger than people give it credit for. And this was brought to my attention by Grubby, actually. And I'm sure people know it now, but I never took this until I found this out.
I took it, but I always used it wrong.
Right.
And the secret to it, what it does is it's his trait. When you use it, it breaks down a turret.
And drops something called scrap.
It drops scrap.
Which gives you mana.
It sort of. But it does. But what it does is it increases it gives you mana, and it reduces the cooldown of all of your abilities by 100% for 2 seconds. Passive. That's his trait. When you take the upgrade, it increases it to 3 seconds. So what I would do, without even thinking, is like, I just need to get all this scrap. So I just knock everything out and go pick up all the scrap all at once. To do it right, you want to take this talent, and then when you break down when you have several turrets to break down, you break down one, you grab it, you wait 3 seconds. Then you break down the next one and you grab it, and you wait 3 seconds. And then you break down your last one and you grab the scrap and you wait. And what this does is it gives you 9 seconds a 100% increase cooldown reduction. So his Gravel Bomb ult cools down in a fraction of the time. If you actively work on this, like you hearth back to the core, you can run around in circles and do your turrets. If you have time, you can have your ultimate up for every single team fight without even having to worry about it.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's interesting. It's just kind of hard to use. I think that they could either benefit from rewriting that or maybe changing it a little bit. I think that maybe like the reduction's kind of a weird way to put it, but
yeah, it's not real clear how it works exactly, and it takes some active thought to really get the most out of it, for sure. That takes us to our last hero, another one that's really hard to play. I've never played them. 0 times I've played the Lost Vikings, and it's because I don't like playing StarCraft again. Because it's a lot to watch with these three. They are all over the map, doing their own thing all the time, but they are fantastic for XP soak. What we do when we play with Miles, he is a fantastic Vikings player. He loves to play Vikings, so we let him. And then the other 4 of us just run around and kill everybody. It's a 4-man gang squad and then Vikings soaking all of our XP.
Yep.
Basically.
Yeah, because they can do all of our lane soak. We don't have to worry about it. We can just have fun murdering everybody at that point. And it makes the early game super, super easy. The Vikings won't necessarily put a lot of pressure on a lane, that they will be there getting the XP, at least killing the waves. So if there's not a hard counter on the other team to the Vikings, they can be out and preventing your towers from having their bullets drained so that they're there still to be defensive. I don't know what a lot of the Viking abilities are.
So they have like a very active build and they have a less active build. So it's kind of like an easy mode Vikings and like a much harder mode Vikings in my opinion. And because now full disclosure, I've only played them a couple times and mostly against AI because they are extraordinarily difficult to play. I've played with like Play Again, Spin to Win, and all the other activated abilities. I thought that was really fun, and it felt more like you can kind of keep your Vikings together towards the end, and it felt like you could do a lot. And then the other one is more like passively, just basically buffing Balog is all it is. So like Balog just does a shit ton of damage, and then you can take the longbow, which is really, really good.
Can he, if you do the Balog build, can he like do camps and can he do the boss?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you can do the boss. Maybe, I don't know. Like, I know for sure that they can do camps.
Okay.
And I actually think that you work with Olaf to do the camps. So I think you do Olaf and Balog to do camps.
Yeah.
And then Eric just like fucks off somewhere else or something like that. So I do. So I have a couple hints for Vikings. One, if you always remember to center a Viking, you can double tap the number that they are set to. So like number 1 is Balog, number 1 is Olaf, and then it's Balog and Eric. So you can double tap 1 to center on Balog or to center on Olaf to, and so on and so forth. And that way it's a lot easier for you to like kind of maintain your camera.
Instead of just space bar to go back to like a single hero.
Right. So like, in other words, instead of pushing 1 space or 2 space, you just double tap 1 or double tap 2. That's a lot easier for me anyway. Another thing is if you have a mouse, you could always, like that has extra buttons on the side. I highly suggest that you map those to 1, 2, and 3. That way you can easily, click to your Viking, and that will make it a lot easier for you to maintain them, I think. Another thing is that you can almost like queue up orders for them. So when they're dead, you can right click somewhere. If you have them selected, you can right click somewhere and it'll put a little flag there, and you'll know that this is where your Viking is headed when he's alive again. So, there's a lot of little things that I'd never considered once I played him. And they have 3 little, health bars in the bottom. And I just wish that there was a little bit more of a indicator, like when one of them was in trouble. If there was something like that, maybe if he yelled at you or something like that, like, oh, help, or something like that, that'd be kind of nice. But then again, I think it's part of the skill of making sure you're watching the mini-map at all times. So.
Well, Abathur has the same problem. If he's watching cats on everybody or a different part of the map, he can just get ambushed and then he's dead. A tower goes down around him and he's not paying attention. Suddenly he's gone.
That's why you take a nap in the bed of mines.
Exactly. Well, that'll kill one of the 5 people that just pushed down the tower. I only ever see anybody take the longboat for Vikings, and it hurts. Like, that comes out in a team fight. Like, the targeted mortars on that hurt a lot.
I feel like both are really good.
They're both very good. I think that if you're new to Vikings, Play Again is better. just because you're likely to lose your guys more often, so hitting play again is a lot better overall.
And that summons them to whatever Viking you have selected, right? Like it brings them back to life and puts them in.
Right. They just get to just pop right back up. Yeah. And that's really nice. Longbow also just does a ton of damage, though. It really does. And it's scary, and they sing a great song.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I think the most frustrating thing about Longbow is it's kind of like Chen's Earth and Fire Ultimate, where even if you kill it, you still have to deal with them. It's not like you killed the Longbow and they're just all dead all of a sudden. It's like, oh, wait, no, I have to deal with these assholes still. Like, they'll just fall out of it.
That's all of our specialists.
That's it?
That's
all of them.
Oh, my God.
We did it, everybody.
Whoa.
All 9 specialists.
What'd you learn? Everybody's annoying. That's what I've learned.
That is the truth. Like that is one thing we could say about every one of these specialists. They're all annoying for
that's
different
good.
reasons.
That's good. I mean, you want somebody on your team. You know, it's all about harass, right? It's all about harass and pressure. I think that's what all these characters really excel at is some sort of pressure, either EXP pressure, building, structure pressure, or even team fight pressure, and harass.
Yeah, they're always doing something that you have to go deal with them.
Yeah,
in some way.
Right,
it's
and
awful.
They force confrontation. They force you to split your attention, and that I think is what specialists are the best at, is just forcing another team to make kind of a crappy decision sometimes. But it's also really easy to get overzealous and to get yourself in trouble as one.
Some of them have some very big spots where you have to be careful.
Yeah, and a lot of them lack escapes. Honestly,
it's true. Sylvanas is actually, of all these specialists, the one that has the best escapes.
And maybe Abathur, kind of, because he gets deep tunnel.
Right.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky, because it is kind of slow.
It's a long one.
That's a long cooldown, too.
Ooh, since we've talked about Abathur, and you just mentioned deep tunnel, playing against Abathur, if you catch that slug, and he starts digging and is gone very, very quickly, that means you used Ultimate Evolution, and as soon as that clone dies, he will be back in that spot.
So just wait.
Just wait. Or be ready.
Or just be ready, yeah. Chase him around and then come back.
Yeah. So that's all for our specialist episode. Next time, we've got Assassins.
Yeah, we'll see what that happens. I don't know if that'll be next week, because I think it's going to be a much bigger week next week.
Absolutely.
We have Zool.
We have Zool next week, yeah.
And changes to Rhaegar and Nova.
That's right.
Again.
So there were some nerfs announced today or yesterday. This
recently.
Week. Yeah. I don't want to date us too bad, but yeah, they were announced this week.
And they'll be going into effect next week with the content patch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll get a chance to play a couple games and see how they feel. We'll hear some Nova talk from Oakley and probably a little bit of Rhaegar talk from me. Or maybe from all of us. Yeah, and then Argyle.
I'm sure one of us will play
Zool. I'm sure Argyle will play lots of Zool.
So ready.
He looks very cool.
Have you seen his bone armor?
No.
It's sick.
I mean, Master Skin?
No, like the ability bone armor.
Is it the spinning?
It doesn't give him 15%.
25%.
25% shield?
Yeah.
That's effed up.
No.
On what kind of cool? I don't think I've ever seen his cooldowns.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I haven't seen any cooldowns on it either. But like, he's supposed to be able to be played as an off tank, like a specialist that can off tank. Let that sink in for a second.
Well, isn't Azmodan kind of like that though? Not quite as bad. No, not as bad.
I got like my talent build picked out every day.
Yeah, because they did release some talents, so we'll definitely talk about that next week, and we can see what you like, Argyle, and kind of maybe brainstorm with some ideas of what to do with him.
Absolutely. And
how he might shake up the meta. So again, we're going to talk about Rhaegar, Nova, and Zool next week. It'll be our After Zool special.
Hoorah! And what question do we have for our listeners this week?
I want to know what everyone's favorite specialist is. Since we did all specialists this week, I thought we'd go ahead and just go around the table and let's talk about our favorites, and then we'll pose that to the listeners.
My favorite is still Sylvanas. I don't get to play her as much anymore because I'm working on leveling everything to 10. I'm on a mission, but she's still my favorite. I love to pick her up and go back to her and just have a good time.
As much as I like Zagara, she has a lot of fun to play. I always feel like this might be a little too easy. So I think Abathur actually might be my favorite specialist, just because when I do well with him, it's like, yeah, I did a good job. Like
it's
very rewarding to.
Yeah, it does.
Not only for you, but for your team.
Exactly, because there's something like, especially on if it's like one of Abathur's like big counter maps. Like I remember we played on Guardians of Terror recently, and I was Abathur, And I was like, all right, cool. I'll just, like, I don't know, AFK in base for 45 minutes. It'll be about the same as playing Apathy on this map. But then we ended up winning, and, like, I had, like, 3 times the experience contribution of anyone because they did not look for me at all. It was silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great. What about you?
What about you, Bearcat?
I think this is actually a really hard one because I do play lots of specialists.
You love that shitty
Who's the
baby.
most special
The most special
to you?
to my heart, near and dear, has to be actually. I've had the most fun playing Murky. Let's be honest. I do. I have the most fun.
He's fun.
I laugh. It makes me smile, and
Because you know they're getting mad.
you know they're getting. I know. I think that's what it is. Like I think it's almost like Nova, right? But you don't feel overpowered. You don't feel overpowered.
It is
you're
like
so easy to
literal
pop.
trolling.
Yeah, it feels like those trolliest characters.
Dial
in the video game.
911. I'm being trolled.
Someone's gonna call the police and bring him to my house. I'm like, I'm sorry, I learned
You're going
it
to
from
get
Murky.
swatted on the next stream.
He also has really cute lines, and he looks
He
funny
talks?
he has like banter in the beginning, and
He banters with Lunara.
and she like pretends.
all of the hells, like all of the demons of hell, like they love him.
I think he also has one of the best cinematics too. So,
The hero spotlight.
yeah, the hero spotlight when he's talking, because he thirsts for justice for all his friends that people have killed in the World of Warcraft.
It's great.
I
It's
love that.
really
That's
funny.
why, and I realized that's why Diablo says, "Ooh, that's evil. Like, don't talk like that. That's messed up." Like, because he thirsts for the blood of his enemies, because he's avenging the rest of his Murloc tribe. So yeah, it's probably Murky. But like, maybe on a more serious note, probably Zagara, just because she does so much damage. But you're right, she's almost kind of easy to play because you're like, this is just, she's so freaking good. Like,
Yeah. She's probably like one of the most well-balanced heroes.
yeah. Well, what about you? What's your favorite, listener? We want to hear from you. You can catch us on Twitter at Dirty Casual Show. You can catch us on Blogspot, dirtycasualshow.blogspot.com. You can catch us on twitch.tv/dirtycasualshow. We have our free play night at 7:30 Central on Tuesdays. We're on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. We're on Podbean. Dirty Casual. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great week in the Nexus.
This podcast is part of the Frozen Fox Radio Network. For more shows and information, visit frozenfoxradio.com and follow us on Twitter at FrozenFoxRadio.